So I'm wondering if you see at this point public art fitting in any way in some of this discussion. Is that something that you're
Absolutely,
exploring?
yeah. We have now a policy around biodiversity that's about a year old now, and we identified up front, because of our experience with Watershed Plus, as a need to have a public art project or program as a part of our discussion with Calgarians about the environment and what's important about conservation. So we see that as an inherent part of just fostering ecological literacy. I think, and I don't have a vast experience in working with artists and residents in these things, but I think what I would say I find intriguing about Sans Façon in their approach is that it is low-key, if you will, and collaborative. That they ask a lot of questions. They spend more time talking and thinking about what's there, and then they formulate a response, and that response touches various elements of the design itself, and I think it adds to the design. It adds a layer of complexity, of meaning, I think, or even just a line of questioning, you might say, that a straight-ahead, straightforward design may not bring. I think for parks, we were open to the idea. Personally, I had no preconceived notions about what a public art program would be. I mean, I'm a botanist, for God's sake, so I don't have formal training in this. But I was intrigued by the idea of finding a different way to relate the environment to people that would use the park, and to communicate some of the things that are important about what we were hoping to achieve in Laycock there. And I think where the project got interesting was it certainly changed my understanding of what a public art project might be in an undertaking like this, in that it really was all about those underlying messages of connectivity and connection to the environment, as opposed to, as some people have rather flippantly said, you know, stick a bronze in a park and you're done. And that, to me, gave a lot more richness to the objectives of our wetland restoration. And so what we did is, in determining what sort of a project we were going to do, and we were focused on the technical elements of a restoration. How do you move a stream, which was a big part of this project. We, through UEP, we invited the artists into that design process. And that was actually, I think, a very fortuitous thing, because I think we had people that were asking us questions about our own perceptions, our own assumptions. And it really made us stop and think about what we were trying to do here. And I think what that did is it opened up a lot more possibilities of what the project could be, how we could make it relevant to the public. I think one of the big ones that was nice to see was just acknowledging and embracing the very manufactured element of the watershed. There's stormwater going into this park and into the creek. There is, rather than, you know, the perception you might say is that we're doing our little bit to push back the advances of civilization and reestablish a bit of nature on a creek. This more or less said, you know, gave us permission in a way to open it up and say, well, let's embrace the anthropogenic element of our landscape. There's a huge impact that we have put on the landscape, and that maybe we don't necessarily judge that or rank one better than the other, but we actually embrace it and incorporate it because it is there. And just in conversations with them, I remember going out to the site when it still had buildings on it and things like that, and just sort of looking at it and talking about the possibilities of what's there now, and how can you work this into the design, and how can you talk about the fact that it was a heavy industrial activity, and now it's treatment wetlands and a park. Just their way of questioning and just sort of leading me through a conversation that pulls me out of my professional confines is what I appreciated the most, I think.